Good evening. Welcome to Tuesday at Two Lines, November 19th, 2024. Hopefully everyone's having a great Tuesday, having a good week so far. I feel like we have so much to talk about. I don't know where to start. I really don't. It's been very busy. Life's been very busy, but it's been good. Prepping for the 2024 NSR Eastern Nationals. Last weekend, this past weekend was the 2024 Western or NSR Western Nationals, and Electric Dreams, as usual. Carlos did an awesome job of coverage, and so it was interesting to watch some of that live stream. But now we're through that, and we're headed to Michigan this weekend, and I'm excited about getting a chance to meet up with some friends for the weekend. Shout out to Greg, whose birthday is on Friday. We'll celebrate his birthday on Friday. But we got a few days before we get there. So today is Tuesday, so it's time to talk slot cars. So I don't know. What do you guys have going on? We really have a plethora of slot cars that are being released right now. It looks like the listers, the Revo slot listers are starting to ship, which is pretty cool. And NSR has given some sneak peek photos of the Lola that will be a direct competitor to the 908 and the 917 10. Just some really cool stuff coming. Pretty exciting. So let's peek into the chat and see what we've got going on. We go back. Mark Cunningham, good evening. John Tucci, welcome. Shotgun Dave, good evening, my friend. Thanks for joining tonight. Chris Petskowski, very, very good. Thanks for being here. B2, Steve, thanks I'm glad you're here. Hopefully you're doing well. Tad, oh boy, I'm early. Hey, friends. Greg, elevator music. Slightly Mad Slot Cars is in the house. We need George to set Marty up with some pre-music. It doesn't do a countdown, right? Not like if I do a premiere. So, yeah. See, the problem with adding music to the beginning is then it's in the stream. So for people watching back, the sooner you get to the content, I feel like, the better. I guess they can always fast forward, but you're early. Well, I'm glad you're early. Thanks for being here. Thanks, Tad. Mr. Fretter is in the house. I see. Hair wax tonight. That's right. Let's see. Who have I missed? Still working on scenery. My daughter thought it's funny that her dad is making bushes. Hey, well, Let's see. Who else? I'll be posting all the cool liveries from the NSR Nationals this weekend on Home Racing World. Cool. I'm trying to decide what kind of coverage I want to do. I mean, I think I have to do something, right? I probably will kind of journal my weekend, my brother's weekend. We'll be traveling together, and man, we haven't done that in a very, very long time. So this ought to be fun. But we're gonna meet up with all the other Ohio and Northern Kentucky guys on Thursday night. So after everybody gets up there, and then Friday we head to the track, and Mike and the Michigan guys, they'll be setting up the track. So we thought we would go and help. And yeah, so that's what we got. So Greg, it's cool that you'll be posting. I'll be doing some videos. Maybe I'll do a little bit of a live stream during some off times. Just just little updates. I haven't quite decided what I'm going to do. So, but it does sound like Mike is going to be live streaming. So that would be on the Cloverleaf's channel. Once I figure out what channel they're going to be streaming on, I will post that out there and keep you guys up to date. So if you follow me on Facebook, or we'll post it in Home Racing World as well if anybody's interested. If that's okay. Anybody, the moderators, make sure it's all good that we just post the link. What else do we have? If I miss anybody, I'm sorry. John Albright. Good evening, everyone. The first question of the night is: Marty Ford, Two Line Soccer, going to take us higher to a place with golden slot car tracks? John, here's the funny thing, John, is the reason why Creed was in my playlist on the way home from work tonight is this past weekend. I gotta preface this with a little story. So you guys know I lead worship at my church, and the last couple Novembers we've done 90s November. And so this year I really didn't want to do songs from the 90s. I wanted to do songs from the 2000s. And so one of the songs that came up was Creed's Higher. And so we joked around about the worship band playing that. So that's kind of what got me on a Creed kick. You can't deny 53 million records sold. Lots of people love to hate on them, but dang, that's a lot of records. That's a lot of records. So anyway, so John, I appreciate that. Thanks, buddy. Slightly Mad says, trivia, did you know Cool Smooth McQueen's first film was The Blob? Oh, that's funny. Let's see, who else do we have? I remember seeing the Le Mans movie when I was about 14, I think. Very cool movie. Yeah, well, that movie was the first movie I remember seeing that had like amazing race car action from, like in-car cameras or on-car cameras, which was pretty amazing. So, yes, that is a fantastic movie. That's what I need to do. You guys know how I like lists. Top 5 race car movies of all time. I'm really looking forward to the new Brad Pitt movie coming out next summer, the Formula One movie. That looks like it's going to be pretty cool. Yeah, there's some good racing movies. I mean, I already know what my number one is. It's really easy. And dang, Electric Dreams has got a special livery from that movie on a C8 Corvette, which is really funny, but it looks great. Who else do we have? Hey, Jerry's in the house. Another fine day in the neighborhood. Welcome. George, good evening. HSF, good evening. Doug, what's up, Doug? D'Angelo, welcome. Glad you're here. Same stuff Marty waxes his slot cars with. That's why they're so fast. I wish my cars were fast. My cars aren't very, very fast. That's Mark knows what he's coming from. Pomade. That's right. Hey, Bob. Good evening. Dave, Slot R. Thanks for joining. Greg, Clearwater. Guys, I really appreciate you tuning in. Josh Reed, can't wait to see you up north this weekend. Yeah, Josh, I'm excited about it. I've had a handful of people reach out and say that they're going to be there this weekend. So I'll probably spend a lot of my time just catching up with guys, some of you who are in the chat. We've never met in person. So I'm kind of excited about that. Actually, I am excited about that. It'll be cool to get to meet people in person and have some real conversations, not texting conversations. But if you're going to be in Michigan this weekend, make sure take a minute and say hello and introduce yourself. We'll go from there. Furnace just kicked on, so it may get a little noisy. Dusty's in the house. Welcome, Dusty. Daniel, Good evening, Daniel. Daniel will be in Michigan with us. That's cool. Pretty excited about getting to hang out with Daniel some more. James Tharp, Kentucky beats Texas Saturday. That's what we're rooting for, man. Let's go. Thanks, James. Hey, Nick. Gary. Man, we got a bunch of people in the house tonight already. It didn't take long. So where do we start? JD John, good evening. Oh, I'm just now catching up to people. Are we back, guys? Did I lose you? Hopefully we're back. Oh, gosh. So, this is Dusty's controller, DeFalco. And I put an XLR adapter cable on it. So, now, hopefully you guys, I'm back for you. And you'll catch up. So he's now XLR with the adapter to go to alligator clips. So I did that this weekend. Hopefully. So it threw me at the end. Yeah, Jerry, thanks. I appreciate that. Hey, Mark B. Guys, it looks like I had a hiccup. My laptop, the stream died for some reason, but it restarted. Let me know in the chat if you guys are back. DW Barker is in the house. Daniel says, I'll be there. That's awesome. UC Slot Cars, welcome. Collection is in the house. Good evening. Hey, Vin. Hey, Pat. Man, Pat, thanks for the message, brother. You didn't need to do that, but I appreciate you. If you guys have heard and watched Pat's latest video, I'm praying for you, buddy. Yeah, tough news, but I know that you've got a lot of people around you that love you and care for you and are going to be there every step of the way for you. So hang tight. But you got a whole group of guys here that from a long way away will be thinking about you and sending good thoughts. So I appreciate you. We love you, man. Okay, so Dave says the voice doesn't match the video. Uh-oh. I'm having problems. Hang on. Let me see if I can do anything that might improve that. Quit. All right. Let's see if that helps. Okay, so Slightly Mad says I'm back. Great. Has the voice gotten better, or am I still behind? Thought I was watching Yeah, thanks, Bob. Yeah, that's great. And we are back. Refresh the page. It fixes it. Thanks, Slaughter. Yeah, it did crash on my end. Ecamm said that I lost connectivity to YouTube. But we're back. It's like watching a Godzilla movie. No, yeah, yeah. Hopefully that cleans up. I just shut a bunch of stuff down. Pat Moriarty. Yes, prayers for Pat and his family. That's right, man. Daryl says my stream is fine. Okay, it's good now. Thanks, guys. Yep, lip sync. Yeah, lip sync not good. Phil Russo. Hey, Phil. Hey, Dan Curry. Sync is good now. Great. It keeps skipping here. I don't know. I don't know what's going on. I know that this laptop that I run this stream on is on its last leg, It was making weird noises today at work. Mark Bondi, stream looks fine here. All right, thanks. Yeah, man. Well, the feeling's mutual, bro. We just know that you're in good hands. I mean, technology and medicine and things like that today can do some amazing things. And when you have a great attitude, and that's a difference maker. Yeah, thanks, Greg. Hey, Reese, what's up, man? Question, everything's good here. Thank you. All right, let's get into something. Looks fine on my end. First Netflix, now YouTube. I'm blaming Mike Tyson. I'm always 3 to 5 minutes behind on the chat. I know, man. Hey, Mad P. Appreciate that. All right. Slot Car League of Champions. Man, there's a bunch of people in. So let's get to talking. I've been prepping my cars, but I really haven't touched them much the last couple weeks. I have not had time, and I did not get the parts that I needed. So I'm just going to kind of go with what I've got. But my C8 Corvette, I still need to put some type of number on this. I should have painted it. Again, I ran out of time. And then this is my main car for vintage. Roxy paint job. I've got some repair work to do on her that I'll do tonight after we're done. And I've got a couple extra cars. I got a C7 Corvette. I've got a couple other 908s that I'll have with me, and probably even like an AMG, something just different. There will be a lot of people running the C8 Corvettes, but the schedule looks like practice on Friday after the track is set up. We have no idea how many people, because they didn't make people register. So we have no idea how many people are actually coming to this. Mike might have an idea. So last year they had mid-40s, I think. So it could easily be 50 people or more. I think they had 46 racers for the Mosler NSR Western Nationals. And if anybody watched that, there was nobody touching Ian Douglas. Ian never tunes in on the stream. Not that he should, but I have to tell you, I am super impressed with his driving ability. Like, he's just a guy that has the ability to focus and just drive, and he does not make mistakes. And I'm sure there's lots of other people out there that drive that way. And I don't know how, for that length of time, that you can maintain that level of focus. I've been doing some practicing, not a ton, but I've done some practicing. I've been running 5-minute heats, and I'll go 3.5 minutes, I'll go 4 minutes, and then all of a sudden I'm out in the turn, and I have no idea why. I felt like I was focused. I felt like I was hitting my break points, and all of a sudden my car is out of the slot. It's unbelievable focus, but the final, if you don't watch anything else, go back and watch the final. Like, it is a master class in how to get around a wood routed track. I mean, Ian, I don't know, he 10 or 11 lap lead, I think, on the field. And then Andrea from NSR, he finished second, and his comeback was phenomenal. And I think a lot of it had to do with the lanes he started on and then the lanes he finished on. And he was in 5th place and came from 5th place to 2nd in the last 3 stints. Super impressive. Great driving. He was really figuring it out. It's the first time he'd ever driven on a wood track. He's a plastic track guy, and I think that he's planning to be at the Eastern Nationals this weekend. So that'll be really interesting to see just how good he is on this track, and it'll be a pleasure to watch somebody with that kind of ability drive. Now, I'm fortunate. I race against Greg and Steve and Dusty and Bruce and Josh and Pat, and there's just so many fast guys at Cincy Slots. But I know that like we all push each other to go faster. Last Thursday, we're racing Group C at Cincy Slots, and first place to last place was a 9-lap difference, and the person that was in last had car problems, so he probably, if he ran one of my cars for his second stint just because he was struggling with the first car, and he ran 24 laps on his second stint. So if he'd have had that, he would have been at 48 laps, which there were 7 of us that had 48 laps. There were 4 that had 49 and 1 that had 50. Shout out to my brother Dusty, who got the win on Thursday. His Group C car is screaming, man. It's one of the Jaguars, the slotted Jaguars. Fantastic driving, and he is super, super focused. So really impressed with him, and his tuning and his driving here lately has been great. So we know that all these guys, we push ourselves. Like I finished 11th, and I was on lap 48. So, like, that tells you, like, it was insane. Super, super competitive. But I think this race is going to be a whole nother level that I have not experienced before. So I did see some of these guys that will be racing in Michigan, and shout out to you guys that came to Butch's track last year for the 6-hour endurance race, and those guys were fast. Kurt and Corey and Mike and Paul, and I'm trying to forget. There were a couple other guys. I apologize if I forgot your name. I forgot who was there. Hopefully, all of you guys will be in Michigan this weekend. This is going to be pretty exciting. This is something new for us. I am setting the bar really low. I have to be honest. I really am afraid to, like, I just don't know what my distractions are going to be. And if I can really get my cars where they need to be, I'm a couple tenths off of the rest of the guys. And it's because I haven't spent some money on some parts and, lightweight chassis, lightweight pod, Lexan interiors. I haven't done that on my Corvette. So I'm just going to try to get that car the best I can and just run with it, and hopefully I can keep it in the slot. But it's going to be an exciting weekend. So tune in, watch the live stream. I'm really excited about it. And if you're on the fence on whether you should come or not, and you're close to Michigan, just come over and watch. If you're not going to race, come support these guys that are coming from all over the place to race. It will be a fun weekend. So shout out to Cloverleaf and Professor Motor for putting this on. Shout out to NSR for being there. That's pretty exciting. When the manufacturer is planning to be at the Nationals race, that's really cool. So, that's about it for the Nationals. Still got some work to do. The biggest thing will be keeping the nerves calm and settling in and just getting laps, staying in the slot and getting laps. So, all right, what have I missed? Getting weird feedback when I talk on your end. Still the same thing. I have my other microphone on, but I've got it muted, so I know that's not the case. What else do we have? If I missed anything, there was a robbery on Netflix. Yeah, that was a mess, wasn't it? You have some water slide numbers. I think I do too, Dusty. Oh wait, yours probably look a lot better than mine. Mine are ones that I printed. So yeah, if that's the case, I'll just throw any number. It doesn't matter what the number is. I'll just throw anything on it. I might tape off a pinstripe or something and I don't know. We'll see. Maybe I'll do that tonight. Hey, Daryl. Hope you're feeling good, man. We missed you on Thursday. So slap a number on the vet and call it the Butch Dunway special. That's what we'll do, Josh. Hey, Gene. Good to have you. Welcome. So that's for the Nationals, and that's a lot of talk about the Nationals. And I know there's a lot of guys that don't really care about those kind of races, and I apologize that I've spent so much time on it. But this is something that last year at this time, I kind of watched this go on. I was supposed to go up and just watch the event, but I really wasn't interested in racing. And I don't know. I'm still not super confident about it, but I'm just going to do it. And so that's what I would say to you guys. If you're on the fence, just go do it. Go have fun. It's hard to do, I know, but just eliminate the fear and the doubt in your abilities and just go have fun and enjoy the company of other people in the hobby that a lot of times we don't get a chance to do. I mean, I spend a lot of time by myself. I'm fortunate. I have guys that want to come out and hang out and race with me. And I know a lot of people don't have that. But I do spend a lot of time here in the basement by myself, running laps, tuning on cars, in the silence of the basement. Most of the time I don't even have music on. I don't have, it's just a time for me to clear my head, and I'm by myself. But I will tell you that like Thursday nights, I look forward to it. And when I can't go race on Thursday nights, like I kind of have some withdrawal. I miss joking around with the guys. I miss, seeing these people become really good friends. So yeah, let's go do it. Let's go do it. Moving on. Excuse me. What else? What else do we have? Let's talk about the new NSR, the Lola. Let me see if I can. Can I pull it up? I don't know if I want to pull it up or not. Hopefully this doesn't cause a problem with the live stream, guys. Let's go here. Let's go. So really interested to see what NSR's hope is for this car. And we haven't been able to get a great look at it. Home Racing World. I know that's where there's a post. Am I still good? And while I'm at it, I'm just gonna plug Home Racing World. What a great community that's become online. I mean, it's the largest slot car community out there. I mean, they have almost 25,000 followers. And that's bigger than any of the YouTube channels. That's bigger than any of the other social media channels in the slot car world. So it's super impressive. So let's do this. Web browser. That's what I want. Here we go. There we go. Now, what are your thoughts? I'm looking at this car, and it looks like it's probably the wheelbase is probably going to match up with the 908. I really think that's NSR. I think that's their goal, is to give the 908 a very closely matched running mate. Now, we have not seen a great picture of the chassis, but there was conversation about how they think that they've made some chassis changes and that this car could dominate. And I would have I have a feeling this weekend we will see, in the vintage class, we will see mostly 908s and 917s. That would be my guess. We'll probably see a few GT40s. We'll probably see a few 917Ks. But if you've run NSR cars, you know that the 908 is the car to beat. So now NSR is going to release this Lola, and there's two things I like about this car. One, not that I'm not a Porsche fan. You guys know that I do love Porsches. But it's great that NSR is putting another car here that's not a Porsche. There is in the NSR, there is not a Lola representation in the time period of these cars, and there should be. That was an important car. But I can see them doing one of the early McLarens as well, even though the McLarens have become a popular Thunderslot car. I really could see NSR doing that using this chassis, and create another mold. But another open cockpit, it's really just lined up to be in that 908, 91710, and then this Lola to be the three cars that really pair well together. But I really want to see the chassis. I want to see if they've made any kind of changes to the chassis. And we know that NSR cars are quick. I'm sure it's a Sidewinder like the rest of them. No reason to change that. It's great in those cars. So Greg says they think around 50 people will be showing up for the race. That's an amazing number. Gene says Ian Douglas is a monster. Dude, he was on it, man. Pat agrees. 50 won't be bad to get through, Greg, especially since we're doing 8 lanes. With 50 people, even 8 lanes is going to be not a lot of practice time. So John asked, any word on the layout? John, I'm not sure we'll know what the layout looks like until we put it together on Friday morning. So that's cool that we'll be building the layout and prepping for that. So that's pretty exciting. We fall out of that. But what are your thoughts on the Lola? I haven't got to the chat yet where we've talked about that. But what are your thoughts? Is this a car that you're excited about? Is this a car that you think that will be the top of that class? It's too bad we won't have it in preparation for this weekend, but we have the C8, right? It came out early enough that people have been able to do that. But yeah, John, no word on the layout yet. Andrea, first time on a wooden track, NSR legend. Yeah, dude. Matt, he is incredible. Ben says not much information on anything. Yeah, Ben, are you planning to be there? Did you say that before? I apologize if I missed that. We will get you to do 48-minute heats, Marty. That'll help you. Yeah, you don't want me. You've seen me tear up cars, Greg, in those endurance races. Yeah, you see slot cars. That was so good to watch. It was pretty impressive. I just think that, it just was a pretty amazing coverage, and that bar, their coverage, the bar is set so high that most other people do not have the equipment to reach. It takes a lot of equipment to do what they're doing, and a lot of work. When Marco and Carlos were here, and the plumbing was right behind my head, and we were talking, they talked about they didn't sleep for 4 days. They spent the entire time prepping. They wanted to do graphics, so they did all the graphics, and all that happens while racing's not happening. So you're thinking like Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday. Those guys, they were exhausted. I'm sure they're proud of the event, but that's a pretty high bar to set. Now, I'm excited to see what Mike and Cloverleaf and Professor Motor have. I'm super excited to see what they're going to put together, and I'm sure it's going to be an amazing event. I'm super excited about that. I found out today that Mike's planning to live stream, and that is exciting to me. Mike, if you're listening, you probably are too busy getting ready for this weekend, but if you are on here, I can bring some equipment with me and do some commentary during the race if you want. Now, I am no Ian and Doug from Magnetic Racing. So if that would be your expectation, I can't do that. Those guys are phenomenal, and they've got great accents, right? But I would be willing to do some of that, and like even maybe if it's just the semifinals, the finals, however we're going to do the racing. I don't know exactly how, if there's going to be like a main or if it's just going to be a round robin. Don't know those details. So, but that might be fun. So I throw that offer out. It's really, although that would probably be a big distraction for me from the racing standpoint, but it would be fun to provide some commentary for all of you guys watching the live stream at home, because that had such a big impact on how good the coverage was this past weekend. So again, that's not our expectations. Chris Frederick, Rose Coffee rules. Top 11 on Thursday were 2 laps apart. Such a crazy close race. Yeah, it was nuts, man. If you think 5 minutes is a long, wait till you do 46 minutes. Yeah. It's easy to get greedy with the throttle. Yeah, you're right. It is. 8 thumbs. Collection. Since these slot races need to be live, I live streamed a couple weeks ago for a little bit. The last few races in the analog race, and that was fun. I enjoyed that, but it was just me vertical live streaming on my phone straight to YouTube, so it didn't have graphics. I didn't have anything, but that was fun. And then Bruce has set up his iPad and streamed on his channel before. So yeah, Josh, you are usually a podium guy in Cincy, so I expect to see some really fast people up there. I just don't know if we have Ian Douglas fast, but Kurt, I bet Kurt could give. I mean, I bet if Kurt, I know he's not listening, but I'm confident enough in Kurt's driving after watching him drive around a track that he could probably make the semifinals. I think Corey didn't he? For the slot at Nationals. So, but yeah, man, there's some fast guys, and they've just got so much time on that track. That's the advantage. So the one thing that we've got going on this weekend is nobody will have any time on this track. Everybody will be in the same boat. Greg, I can't think of anything I've done for 48 minutes recently. Really looking forward to this weekend. Mark Bondi, are you headed there? Yes, we'll get to hang out. I'm looking forward to that. I should go. I can lock up last place. I'm sorry, Daryl. That would not happen. You would not be in last place, guaranteed, unless something broke. Your tuning is DeFingers. DeFingers. John, self-deprecation is a spiritual gift of mine. Haven't you figured that out yet? Greg, yes, Daryl. Read that twice. I stopped in Robbie's Hobbies in Columbus and checked out their new 6-lane Carrera digital track. It's 6-lane? Wow. Just read 10-minute heats, assumed that's per lane. So 10-minute heats times 8, that would be, you were on the track for 80 straight minutes rotating through those lanes, unless you're in one of the first 8 lanes. So I guess they'll probably do that in heats then, after qualifying. And I'm guessing that this is not going to be a round robin, because that would be awful to run one lane and then wait the entire day. 5 hours later, you get to run the rest of your races. So 10-minute heats, it's going to be a long day for 2 classes if we have 50 people. It'll be fun, but it'll just be a long day for everyone. So that's interesting. Daryl, you should go. Have a feeling you won't be in last place. Not with me going. Greg, I wish I had something like this down here in the Deep South. What, the Nationals race? So let's talk about that. I'm curious why Slotted does a Nationals race. MR Slot Car does a Nationals race. NSR they do 2 Nationals races here in the United States, the Eastern and Western. Why doesn't Thunderslot? I know they're based in Italy, but we should find a great track to run a Thunderslot Nationals on. I mean, they're a upper echelon slot car in that top tier of fast cars. Why do we not have a Revo slot Nationals and host it someplace that has a track that is great? Revo slots are great on. I mean, let's be honest. I mean, the Electric Dreams, that track is great, but it's in California. So you've got to pay to get to California to go race in that Nationals race. That's just not for everyone, which is why I love this is close. I mean, this is a 4.5 hour drive for us to get to this Nationals race. So I'd be willing to drive, Kansas City, St. Louis, find some place in the Midwest that's got a great track and run some of these races. There's some great tracks down in Georgia, Florida, places that could host a Thunderslot Nationals or Revo Slot Nationals. I mean, if there's a Revo Slot Nationals, John Albright will be there. Heck, we could probably even get Slot R to come over from the UK. We'll figure out how to subsidize his flight to get his butt over here to race. So, Greg, maybe it just takes initiative. More people in the hobby that are willing to put a race together. Because, I mean, it costs money to do that. It takes a lot of energy and effort to do that. But you have to have a great track first, I think. So, let's see here. Ann Arbor, B2, where in Michigan? Ann Arbor. The thing about Ann Arbor is there is a Michigan game on Saturday. So the football team is in town. Where can I watch a live stream of the race? Gene, I don't know the exact link, but I will post it once we have it. All right. So keep checking back, and Gene, I can send it to you directly once we have it. Maybe George. Hopefully that's it. John, they will be 5-minute heats. Yeah, that's what we thought we'd heard would be 5-minute heats. Whatever floats your boat. Thanks, George. George, I've got some content coming for you, buddy. I just want you to know the Volkswagen is back on the tuning block. Now that I can run some cars on the oval. We'll get to the oval here in a minute. Hey, Mike, welcome. Dusty, peer pressure got me to do it. No lie. Peer pressure got both of us to do it, to be honest. Road trip. George, anytime, man. Anytime you want to make a road trip, we need to make a road trip down to you. John, I think that's when they were going to do 2 4-lane tracks instead of 1 8-lane track. John, it normally is 10-minute heats, but there are some things that changed that since it was posted. The venue changed and the amount of track I think they can get changed. But it was expensive. It was supposed to be that, right? Yeah, no problem, John. DJ Patrick, welcome. Where can I get info on the race? B2, there is a link. Home Racing World, there's a link to the Nationals. And if you go to Cloverleaf Racing, their website, there is a link to that Home Racing World link on there. Thanks, Chris. Appreciate it, man. Thanks for posting this. Another car for me to put in the grandstand since he's last. Daryl has the gift of the spiritual gift of self-deprecation as well. Updated chassis, lighter with more flex. That is the thing that I notice when you compare a Thunder slot to an NSR. That Thunder slot's got a much softer chassis, probably closer to the NSR blue chassis, or the NSR blue chassis is closer. So I could see them doing some updates. Sorry, I'm catching up to the Lola questions. I'm going over to the Nats on Saturday, looking forward to see a big event live and meeting. Yeah, Doug, man, are you not planning to race? You're just coming to watch? That's cool and all, but bring some cars. Yeah, Pat, I agree. The NSR stuff is really, really good. I will be honest with you. It's because of this race. They've really grown on me. To the fact that there's some other NSR cars that I'd really like to pick up that I don't have. Hey, Terry, man, welcome. The chassis has large windows cut in it. It was shown during one of the Electric Dreams videos. Okay. I must have missed that, Mark. I may have to go back and check that out. I thought I saw a glimpse of a picture that somebody took, and it was probably a screenshot. And I thought I did see that there was some openness to the chassis. So that's cool. So it'll be super light. Let's see. What else do we have? Vin. Meow. Thanks, Daryl. Appreciate it. There's the link. I love the NSR2. Just bought my first Sideways. Chris, what Sideways did you get? I'm a big fan of the Sideways. I love their Group 5, but I will tell you, their GT cars are fast. They are great B2 has a question. Marty, please provide the race dates and time for the NSR National. B2, Daryl posted the link to the information. I'll put it back up there. So hopefully you found that link after you posted that. Yeah, Chris, it does look sort of like a Scale Auto design. Daryl just posted the link for the event video. Yep. Love the Lola. Can't wait to see liveries. DJ Patrick, I agree. I really, not that I don't like white kits, but the pictures, I know that it's a prototype, but I really love to see like colors. The liveries make the cars really pop. So I'm curious to know what the initial liveries are. And I hope that when they release it, they release, 2 or 3 liveries. Dave Kennedy was talking about this as part of his editorial, that some companies were missing out by only releasing one car. Well, sometimes maybe that's all you can afford to do, right? And so, I don't know that you can question the motives of the company. I understand. I want more liveries too, but yeah, the more liveries will come. But I think Revo Slot this past year, by releasing 3 at a time and then even 6 at a time with the oil can cars, the Marcos, I just think that because they released so many liveries at once, made that car fly off the shelf. It gave people so many options that people got so excited about that car that like a lot of those liveries are sold out, and like good for NSR, right? So I think that if our Revo Slot, so if NSR does that, hopefully they release 2 or 3 different liveries right off the bat, so that there's some choices. And if they release a white kit, then guys like Greg and George and Harry and those guys and Shotgun Dave, those guys that are really good at painting, can create their own liveries. And I think that's where it's going to be. It'll be awesome. It is a lot of work to run an event. Ask me how I know. Marty will be Jackie Stewart this weekend. That's funny. Yeah, George, I'm sure you have some experience doing that, man. With running the proxy race, you guys are run ragged on those proxy race weekends. So, and you're not having to deal with 50 drivers, and it's still exhausting. I know we talked about it. So, Chris, do I have that Southern Ohio accent? I really feel like I don't have a Southern Ohio accent. I just have like a Midwestern accent. Pat, I don't know about that. That's funny. I don't even have a Jackie Stewart imitation. I have a Jimmy Stewart imitation, Mary, but not a Jackie Stewart. The chassis itself has large cutouts down the sides of to larger holes than Scale Auto. There you go. Chris, we have an accent. That's funny. I'm from Southern Ohio too. Phil Russo, is this race going to be at Cloverleaf in Milford, Michigan? Phil, it's actually an event space in Ann Arbor. So I guess it's like 15 minutes from the track, maybe. I don't know. I've not been there, so hopefully somebody already answered that in the chat once I get down here. For the Nats, Pat. Phil, it is in Washington Farm Council grounds in Saline, Michigan. There you go. Washtenal. Wow. Maybe I did sound like Southern. Alan. Thanks, man. Yeah, we'll go have some fun. At some point, I will let go of my competitive nature, and I'll be able to have some fun. Marty S. Paisley. Hey, Blue Water. It should be a great weekend. I'm looking forward to it. Chris is in Columbus. Yeah, my apologies, Chris. Chris was supposed to come down on Sunday, and everybody kind of bailed on Sunday evening. And not that Chris would want to just hang out with me running laps, but it's much more fun on this track when there's 4 or 5 people. So that's Eastern Nationals. We talked about the Lola. I'm pretty excited about that car. The listers are starting to ship, and that's a car I didn't know that I wanted, but the black livery looks fantastic. I really, really like that. I'm going to George is here. The Home Racing World Showdown in the Southern National Race for scratch building to me. I would agree with that, George. I think that I didn't even get to race those cars that we built to send to you guys to run, but I probably had just as much fun as I will have this weekend racing myself, watching you guys race the cars that we built. So, let's see. Yeah, I agree, Pat. Sluggers, didn't Revo have a national championships in Australia? They did in Australia, right? Now, I know that that's kind of like their homeland, right? But yeah, why not the United States? I mean, I think they probably sell a lot of cars here. So, yep, that's a long drive, George, but worth it, I'm sure, for you. Plus, you get fed well while you're there. I need you to come down and help me build a 4-lane oval outside in my screen room. I can probably tell you about how many hours it would take, Greg. I've got a pretty good handle on how much time I have on my oval. We'll go take a look at it in a minute because I've got some updates for you guys to see. Slot R is there if there's an RS0063 available. Greg, the Volkswagen Proxy. That's right. I'm serious. You have a car and it will be there. Yes, that's right, George. I just figured out what you said. VW Nationals. That's right. Here we go. Here we go. The VW Nationals. Nobody's home. I'll be sending in my Budweiser 8 to Harry very soon. Nice, nobody. I got to get started. I got to get past this weekend first, and then we can jump in on that. Hey, Tim. Tim, I don't know if anybody's been following Tim's wood routed track adventure on Facebook, but you need to go check it out. TNT Motorsports Complex. It's been great to follow. He is just about ready to run laps on that thing. I'm pretty excited for you because I know it's been a long process. Let's see here. Sorry, guys, if I'm missing anybody. Oh, Wildman is in the chat. Hey, Eric. Sorry if I missed you, brother. Good to have you. Thanks for tuning in. Don't have any cars to run yet. Maybe next race I'll just have Carrera cars right now, and I'm looking forward to it. Cool, Doug. Yeah, we'll see you there, man. Lee, Marty was on the treadmill watching Good Luck to all the racers this weekend. Hey, Lee, way to multitask. I should do this on the treadmill. But thanks for tuning in. I really, really appreciate that. Yeah, Dusty's going, Tim. He's headed there with me. Marty, the event center is 10 minutes from Professor Motor and 40 minutes from Cloverleaf. Thanks, Josh. I knew it was 10 minutes from someplace. No, not all of us have last place locked up, Dusty. I think you'll be okay, buddy. I've watched your race here lately. I like the alphas coming out. George, yes, the alphas coming out are fantastic. Let's go. Well, since you mentioned that, let's jump out there and take a look at those. The browser. Let's go to the browser. All right. The browser. We'll look at this one first. The most attractive male hobbies. I know you guys are disappointed that slot car is not at the top of that list. That's a great looking GT. So there's the listers, and this is hey Shane. I don't know if you're in today, but it looks like those storms are in. Those are great looking Revo slots, man. Great looking Revo slots. And let's scroll down. Nice F40. Dave Kinney talking about having some fun in the studio for Paula Carr. I mean, look at that car. Sheesh. That looks really, really good. Who posted that? Sandy Mark. Mark Sandy, maybe? Sandy Mark. Great, great car. Harbor Freight boxes. Josh designed some. There they are. So there's the Revo slots that George was talking about. So what's your pick? I'm kind of a sucker for orange. And I look around, I've got a lot of orange and I got a lot of red cars, but I really like the Top Con, the blue with the yellow fenders. That car, it looks really, really good. So when George talking about he likes the Alphas coming out, I like the Alphas too. They are fun on my oval. Josh, I'm buying a Lister if Mike has them. I'm hoping that he doesn't. Josh, my money, I'm not going to be able to buy cars this weekend. I've got to buy parts this weekend so that maybe Greg can improve my cars a little bit. Let's see what else we have. Yeah, George built his track in 2 weeks. That's flying, guys. That's really, really fast. I worked on mine I've been, working on it for a few days, and then I get away from it for a few days. So where it's at now, I'm about 2 weeks in, and it's not completely finished. But I'll show you here in a second. We'll head over there. We'll take the camera over. Takes a long time, but eventually you'll see rubber start to build up on the corners. Lap counter is the last thing to finish Friday. Tim, what lap counter are you putting in? Are you building your own using an Arduino? And what software do you plan to use? TrackMate, Race Coordinator? Just curious. Yeah, glad it's over. It's been a long. Yeah, George, you're right. He is there when you're installing the timing. That's good. Mad says the blue Alpha for him. Australia always sees the new Revos first, except for the first release of the 510s. Yeah, John. But they won't be too far behind for us. So I think Josh is safe this weekend. TrackMate with dead strip. Got it. Okay. I thought about playing with dead strips, but I can't figure out what you have to do for the sensor for the Arduino to see the dead strip. So I know that TrackMate makes a cable for the dead strip, but I really need to do some research on that, because I would have liked to have tried. I didn't really want to put a bridge. I haven't yet, but I do have the IR brake sensors. As long as I have a router, my track will never be finished. Then you just Bondo that thing, sand it down, and start again, right? The Jaeger Alpha for sure. I'm warming up to the blue and yellow Alpha. Yeah, and I just think that let's take a closer look at that car. Maybe. Can we get a little closer? There we go. I mean, yeah, those are, yeah, I mean, you can't go wrong with the Jägermeister. That's great, but that Top Con, I really like that car. Or no, yeah, Con. Excuse me. Yeah, so let's go back here. Great cars. The Alphas are going to be fun. Not an issue. It just means we are not far behind. Yeah, it's not. Yeah, there's no complaint about it. Them getting the cars first. That's cool. But it is kind of cool that they gave us the 510, the Datsun first. That was fun, right? I will tell you, my Datsun, that thing's a runner. I really like. I haven't tuned my second Datsun, but I think that's going to be a fun oval class. There's plenty of room for those cars on my 4.5 lane spacing. So, all right, you guys want to check out the update to the oval? Let's see. Slot Car League. I just received my first Auto Art livery-free red Lamborghini Countach. It looks amazing. Hope they're runners. I've not messed with an Auto Art, so I don't know anything about those. That's great. Hello, Injap Boy, is that right? I really wish I knew everybody's real names. Usually when I find out what it is, I don't use your handles anymore. For 124 brass cars, everyone here says it's necessary to use dead strip for accurate lane counting. With the 16D motor, cars are quick. Yeah, I could see that. Oval, show off the oval. All right. Let's switch to this, and let's go to the phone. Uh-oh. Let's go to the phone. Phone. Hang on. It's not going to do it to me again, is it? Hey. And let's kick on the microphone. So, are we doing all right? Okay. So here's the update. We now have walls. I'm not finished, but I do, maybe line of sight for the mic might be better over here. But I do want to make sure this will eventually taper a little bit and soften. Because I'm about 6 inches tall here, and I'm about 3 inches tall here. And this is my temporary, I was testing my brake sensor. And I actually already have that set up for some timing. And let's see if we can run a car. Hopefully you guys can still hear me and see me. Let me see. Okay. You might not be able to hear me, but you got the Jake Dyke Special running some laps in the outside lane. That's the only lane I have timing set up. But the YouTube studio could move into here with this track in the background if I get this room organized. I haven't cleaned the tires in a while. Got a few laps. This car is smooth and quick. Here we go. So let's see what we have. We're running 2 5s, 2 6s with that. Let's throw the old land barge and see. So even with 6 inches of space out there outside the lane, you can still So in the Jake Dyke Special, I'm still running the 17.5 motor. I haven't changed over to the 20,500 Predator yet. And so the land barge runs 2 6, 2 7s, 2 8s. And I've got this little gem. And not a Formula One car belongs on the oval, but thing's quick. Hook up really well. So I'm getting messages, so that means I lost connection. Thanks for the warning, guys. It's because I got a bunch of messages that came through on my phone, and it causes the camera to crash. So let's try it again. So now we're running a little F1, NSR F1. It screams around the outside lane, mainly because it gets lots of traction. It hooks up 2 fours, very consistent 2 fours. I'm peeking. So you guys didn't get to see the land barge run. That's what you missed. So let's see. What about this? We still got it. I'm checking. So the land barge runs pretty good. It's got the 20,500 Predator. The Jake Dyke Special has the so yeah, there you go. There's some laps, running fast laps. I've got 1 lane wired up. I need to finish building the bridge. So this is just 1 lane testing to make sure that my sensors are working, that I got everything programmed right. And 12-foot by 6-foot table on casters. Got my driver station set up. I do have room to add XLR. I've got the button for the track call button. And what my plan is, instead of all 4 lanes have a track call, which I could do that. It's easy enough to wire. I think I'm going to put it on a thing that can slide so I can move it around if somebody is directing the race. Dang it. All right. It's called 18-inch thick walls. Wi-Fi and Bluetooth don't work in range. And there you go. My camera just kicked back on. So there's kind of a peek at and some laps. Hopefully you guys got to see that. Let's check out the chat. Everybody's probably giving me a hard time. It started over. There were some people that I did not say hello to. Good evening. Sorry that I missed you. Hey, Patrick. Nick V. Sorry, guys. That kind of took us back to the beginning. Slot Card Dojo. So now I'm going to skip down to when I was racing. Wow, got a bunch of comments. Tuning needed. They can be some work. You must be talking about the Auto Art car. Thanks, Tim. Appreciate that. That's right. They will keep cars from flying off the track. Do I need to print more controller hangers? If you think that those controller hangers work pretty good, we can install them. Thanks, Mark. I'm almost done. It's coming together. I will say that the project has been very enjoyable. Um, so pretty much I'm about 2 weeks in. I built the table in one weekend on a Saturday afternoon, um, and then the following week I started, and pretty much by Friday I started on Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, just kind of working on it as I could those 3 days. So it wasn't like full work days on the table. But I committed a few hours each of those days, and I was running laps testing. You saw that in the last. So this week, what I've got done, or this past weekend, what I got done was the walls and painted the lanes, striped the lanes, and worked on the timing. So that's where we're at. So sorry about it freezing up. Yeah, who turned on the Netflix? Uh, Thanks, Slot Card. Good old American oval racing. That's right. That's what it'll be for. Um, Frozen video, but good sound. Yeah, it's the video. I'm about 40 feet away from the computer, so we'll do a. I'm not doing it. I swear. Thanks, Gary. I appreciate it. And we're back. Yeah, thanks. It's been a fun project, and I think if you've thought about building one, don't be afraid. I've shown you in my videos. I've made a couple mistakes, and they were pretty easy to fix. So that when I look at the table, it's not perfect. Um, I've got a nice little extra lane that I filled in with Bondo and sanded down. That's just outside, and I've got the small cars. The the front tire rubs it when it leans into the turn, and so you get a little noise from that because it sounds just a little different than the Bondo does. And it's really the Alpha and the Nissan are the two cars that I have that do it. I think the Legends car, the tires are big enough that it doesn't really make that sound. But outside of that, the mistakes, I was able to overcome them. And so don't be afraid to jump in. And the size of this, putting it on casters, allows me to just kind of move it a little bit in that room and rearrange, and I can put it at an angle. It just makes it very convenient to kind of push out of the way when I need to use that room for something else. But it's still really a good size to the layout. So I appreciate all the feedback. It's been fun. Hey, Shane, no worries about being late. We were talking about, you were showing off the Revo slot listers. They look awesome. Thanks for sharing those. Hey, DG Raceway, glad to have you. Thanks for tuning in. So, yeah, freeze frame from Jay Giles. Yeah, sorry about that, guys. It's because the walls are so thick here, and I'm a pretty good distance from the laptop. Switch my mic back. Thanks. How about that? They got rid of that weird noise. Thanks, John Mark. Appreciate it. I kind of forgot about that. Mic check. There we go. Sorry, guys. Yep, I had two mics on. I did not mute this. This mic will, when it's close to this mic, will make kind of a weird noise. Sorry about that. What Bondo? Thanks, George. Trying to make me feel better. Can't always catch you, Marty, at work right now. The track looks great. Will look better once rubbered in. Yeah, it's going to get there. It's just going to take some laps, DG, and pretty excited about that. That's going to be the fun part, is breaking the track in and hosting my first race day. So now that I've got the counter and running fast laps, thank you, Patrick, that's going to be key. So running some cars. A slow car gets around about 3 seconds. A fast car gets around, my fastest car gets around 2 seconds, 2.1. I think getting under 2 is going to be the challenge. So if somebody wants to send me a car they want me to try, but I've only tested the outside lane. So it'd be curious to see the inner lane is really quick. I feel like I can get around that blue lane, the inside, maybe a little faster than all the way on the outside. I know that makes sense, but you saw some of those cars. If you get good traction, you can just hammer it all the way around that outside turn, and you can't do that on the inner turns. So I think I'm running like around just a shy above 9 volts, and the cars seem to be performing where I would expect them to perform from a speed standpoint. So I think the max is 9.5 volts on that wood track, and that seems to, be similar to other people I've talked to. I think George, you run yours at 9 volts, and I think Harry, that's where he runs his. So, Slot Car League of Champions, what adjustments, if any, have you made to your cars for the oval? Right now, Slot Car League of Champions, I have made 0 changes. The beauty of how I built this with the copper tape, like there's no change in the guide. The copper tape and the Carrera track are pretty much just slightly above the table. Just like Carrera is just slightly above the track surface. And so the setup for both is the same. And so I've not had any issues. And the wood slot, because I did a pretty good job of routing, when I didn't mess up the routing of the lane, the slot is super tight. And what I mean by that is there's not a lot of slop, and it's very straight. And so I don't have a lot of D-slots. To D-slot, you really have to overdrive the car. And so, I think people will enjoy racing on it because it takes a pretty good overdrive in the turn to come out of the slot in the outside lane. In the inside lanes, it's a lot easier because the turns are sharper. But, yeah, good stuff. So thanks for asking that. Yep. Can we get Marty to make mother-in-law tables on casters so we can just roll them away? Yeah, I can work on that. I'll put them on my Etsy store. I made plenty of mistakes first time building a wood-routed track, 80 feet, 4 lanes. Yeah, man, I didn't have that much routing. Tim, you had a ton of routing. Marty, what was the power pack you used for the oval? Patrick, I have to admit that I'm stealing the power supply for our tire truer. So I don't know that it would run all 4 lanes because it doesn't have a lot of amperage. But it goes up to like 12 volts. And so I'm ordering this weekend or maybe next week, I will order the power supply from Amazon that I bought for this track, and run that track with that power supply. So power supply incoming soon, and that I'll run it. It's in my list, my wish list, not wish list, my ideas list on Amazon. So if you go to any of my videos, I have a link to my Amazon profile, and you can see what I've purchased for my slot car building and track there, like my sensors and power supply and my soldering iron and all kinds of stuff. So B2, are you headed to Michigan on Friday or Thursday? B2, we're headed up on Thursday night. Hey, Dewan. Thanks for tuning in, man. Good to have you. You just missed, hopefully you caught it. I was running some laps on my wood routed track that I've been working on. But man, I'm glad you made it live. That's awesome. So, but yeah, B2, yeah, we'll be there Thursday night. We probably have 4.5 hours to get there, And it looks like we're going to be driving through some winter mix of sleet and snow. So that might slow us down a little bit. George, challenge accepted. That's what I want to hear. So that's what I should do. I should do what Shotgun Dave did and have a 2-second challenge. If somebody can send me a car that can break 2 seconds on my wood routed track, I'll have to come up with some kind of prize for anybody and everybody that can do it. So let me come up with some rules. Not that I want to steal Shotgun Dave's idea, because I thought that was a great idea, and I never did build the car for him because I just kind of ran out of time and ideas. I didn't think I could build a car that could go fast enough to compete with that. But John, I love my mother-in-law. She lives 6,000 miles away. But going back to George, yeah, I mean it's going to take a pretty quick car. So I will tell you, I have a car that will run 2 1s, and it is my Thunderslot Elva, which is my fastest car that I have, and it will run high 2 1s. I can't seem to get it any lower than like 2179, I think. All right, that sounds good, George. You send it to me and I'll ship it back to you, bro. And we'll create some content. What I'll do is I'll bring you on a live stream when I race it. I know you guys are looking for a race in the Midwest. My pole barn is done and I'm building an Indy road car course. It will be ready springtime and will be scale polycar 6-lane. Lee, that's awesome. Fantastic. Lee, will you be posting, like, as you build this, will you be posting pictures of anything? I'm really curious about the polycar track, because I think if I was going to build a track that was more than 4 lanes, it would be 6 or 8 lanes for like a club track, and I didn't do it in, like, I didn't buy an older wood track, I would probably look at polycar, because I think it's a little cheaper than Scale Auto, and it has more grip than Scale Auto. Not that it's all about the grip, but I just like some of the layouts that I've seen, like the 6 and 8 lane layouts. So I'm really curious about your build. Keep me up to date. That's exciting. So yeah, man, that would be awesome. 6 lanes would be perfect. Danny, just slipping in really quick. I missed so much lately at work, of course. Hey man, thanks for tuning in. Mike is still building his Carrera layout. That's awesome. Yeah, I agree. Nicely. Timothy Wood. Hi, everyone. The newest car is an MR Shadow, the 101. I love it. I can't quit buying cars. I have this big problem. Welcome to the hobby, Timothy. Welcome to the hobby. That's awesome. Actually, she's a sweetheart. She could move in with us today. Yeah, that's how I feel about my mother-in-law as well, John. You run yours at 10 volts. Okay. I'll play around with 10 volts and see what it's like. And so maybe at 10 volts, I might have to adjust that 2-second mark. But maybe that's what we do, is we run it at 9 volts and see if anybody can break the 2-second at 9 volts, but I'll play around with it. Marty, what depth is the groove on the oval? Jerry. So, I actually reached out and talked to George about this, and Carrera is about just shy of 6 millimeter, and I went 8, which is the minimum required by one of the sanctioned commercial track. So George was right at 7 millimeter. I think that's what I went to 8. He was just shy of 8. And so I just matched his 796, I think is what he was. So I just went to 8 millimeters. It's 1/2-inch MDF. So I didn't want to go too deep, but that is deep enough for any wood. I don't have any guides that are dragging the bottom. The NSR Wood Guide works great. The Slot Invasion Guide works awesome. It works like really, really good. So Oscar's kind of nailed it. But even the regular NSR Guide is sticking in the slot really well, which kind of surprised me. I wasn't expecting that. So you've got that. But yeah, 8 mil. Okay, cool, Dwan. I didn't know if you jumped in time to see some of that since it froze up on me. Hey, Caveman. Briefly pop in. Always relaxing to listen in. Well, thanks for tuning in, man. It's been a while. Good to have you. Wait, it has been a scratch-built car. That should be the challenge for this one. Yes, George. I agree. It has to be a scratch-built car. Yeah. That's right. I don't have a car that can run that. I just showed you I think my fastest scratch built that I have at the moment is the Jake Dyke Special, and I'm going to order one of the 20,500 motors to put in it so that I can send it back to the Showdown. Or the Demon actually is what I'm planning to send to the Showdown, not the Jake Dyke Special. But I want to put one of the 20,500 motors in because I think that it probably gets that car down to probably 2 2s would be my guess. 2 2s. I'd probably get 2 tenths out of that motor, maybe. I'm really curious. I could pull it out of the land barge and just try it. But yes, I agree. Scratch built. Caveman, yes, I did show the Galaxy. I did run some laps with the Galaxy. I will post a video on my Instagram of some laps with the land barge. It gets around 2.7s. It gets around the outside lane really, really good. But actually does a little faster in the inner lanes because it turns really well and gets pretty good grip. Dewan, by the way, I'm thinking about making a trip to Cincy soon. What time do you race on Thursdays? Dewan, that would be awesome. Send me an email or send me a message somehow. We're friends on Facebook. And I can give you all the details. Their details are on Cincy Slots website, but the track opens at 5 for practice and the racing starts at 6:30 p.m. And you can see what we have. The class runs for the entire month. So like the month of November is Group C. December is Polycar F1. And January is modified Trans Am. But just show up. We always have extra cars, and you can run one of our cars and use one of our controllers if you need to. And we would love to have you. So please show up if you're going to make the trip. That would be awesome. Yeah, I figured, Dusty, we're probably trying to get through this weekend first before Yeah, DG, I agree. Indy road course, that would be awesome. I have still only bought one car in 2024. I haven't bought a ton of cars in 2024, but I've bought enough. Greg only has one. Greg, I feel like I have a car You like 124 stuff. But you've built some cars, Greg, right? You've done some scratch building. I gave my Demon build to a 5-year-old last weekend. Now he seems to be afraid to race it because it's his. I get that. That happens, right? But that's awesome that you gave the car away and the events are starting to pile up, Josh. Holy cow, it's 9:35. All right. We've been at this for 90 minutes. I'm going to wrap it up. But guys, thanks for tuning in tonight. I don't know how many we had. Gosh, we still have 83 on. Thanks for tuning in. This has been fantastic. This has been one of my favorites. I think talking about the oval track, and that's been fun. That's been a fun build. I've got video 3 I'm working on. I'm hoping I get it edited and done before we take off tomorrow night or tomorrow afternoon. I'll have to do some of that editing tonight. We'll see. So hopefully I have a video on Saturday. If not, I will do some live streaming from the race, kind of some commentary from me, even if it's not part of Mike's live stream. So, guys, I really appreciate it. And thanks for tuning in. I just really appreciate it. And guys, again, our buddy Pat, I don't know if Pat's still on. Just some tough news this week, and the fact that he was brave enough to share that with all of us means that he doesn't carry this burden by himself, right? And so we all care about this community, which means we care about the people in this hobby, and just sends out some good thoughts for Pat. And if you are the praying type, pray for him. We just want to see him fight this thing and get through it, and come out the other side, a better person. And we already know how great he is. So, cheers to you, brother. Hang in there. If there's anything we can do as a community, we're there. We're there for you. Even if we're so far away from you, we're still there for you. So, guys, take care. And, yep, we'll have a fun trip, John. I'm sure I'll be sending you some messages. So, but guys, thanks. Real quick, what's happened to Pat? If Pat put out a video earlier today that he was diagnosed with cancer, and it's pancreatic cancer, and just his attitude about it is incredible. And so, yep, give him good thoughts. Thanks for asking. So, guys, yep, DG, that's right. We love him. And I appreciate everybody being here. Guys, go have some fun racing. We are. Let's go. Have a good evening.